We are rolling.
Good morning. Welcome back to the conversation. This is Midlife Crisis Activities. This is our lifestyle and pop culture webcast, our daily shout out to the world. I'm your host, Patrick Russell, and over there is my very vivacious producer, Veronica. Together, we're here to lend our voices to the noise from a multi-generational perspective to help explain everything that's right and wrong in this world. Good day to you, Veronica. Oh, you always like the saucy topics.
Oh, yeah.
So today you'd like to talk about whether today's Latinas prefer getting married or living in sin. Is that right? All right, take us through this. Come on. What's your thoughts on this?
I think now at my age,
Ooh.
I think it all
At the
depends.
tender age of...
20-ish.
Okay.
I think it depends on your age. When I was younger, I always wanted to marry someone before actually living with the person. Growing up, obviously, moving forward in my life, I don't think it matters anymore.
So that's a very traditional idea of falling in love, getting married, and staying married and building a family and being with that person until you die, right? Obviously, the vows that we take at marriage. Now, what do you think as far as individuals having to deal with their parents or their families when instead of getting married, which is, I guess, a more traditional choice, they live together, as you say, in sin, aka unmarried couples living together? Is the social pressure that used to be on couples that used to live that way, is that there today? Does anybody care whether or not you have a piece of paper with the person that you share a home with?
I don't think so. I mean, once again, growing up, I always wanted to get married first and then have kids, and then obviously the traditional way.
Wait, isn't that the way we did? Oh, no,
Kind
it
of.
wasn't.
Wait,
Can you share with the audience, give some context? How long did we live together in sin before we finally got married?
We didn't. We actually, I was going, so you had an apartment in Long Beach. Well, we actually got an apartment, and it was 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks before we got married. So that was a planning part.
That's all I'm trying to say. I mean, we almost
Don't
had
put
it
me on the
exactly the way you wanted it.
So, I mean, I think that happens a lot. You get an apartment, you know that you're going to get married, and then you start planning things. But we actually got married pretty fast.
Very good. I guess that what the audience really wants to know is, did I have a chance to test drive the car before I bought the car off the lot?
That's a pretty interesting question.
Well, I think that's what the 2 to 3 week answer
that
kind
was
of...
a test. That was a test just to make sure if it was gonna work.
Oh, yeah, it was a good fit, wasn't it? I guess it worked out pretty well, didn't it? All right, guys, let's not keep...
Wait, we're still married, so probably it worked. So, just going back to... You just put me on the spot.
I know, I did.
We have, all the million followers that we're gonna have, and then you're putting me on the spot right now.
Well, and of course, these things for posterity, 30 years from now, we get to have these videos thrown in our face.
And it's not like that anymore either, It's, once again, what can we hide? It's what it is. There's a lot of people that get married when they're...
Good point.
There's a lot of people that get married very young, and then they think that that's the last person that you're going to live with, and that's not the case. So for me, from my perspective now, if someone doesn't get married and it's living with the partner, it doesn't really matter as long as you guys respect each other and blah blah blah, all the BS that we always keep talking about. That's what matters.
So, and what I gather from what we're talking about is, I think we're both in agreement that the social pressures that used to be from a traditional generation that forced you in some cases, if you wanted to leave the house and if you wanted to live with somebody, it required being married to that individual. I think we both are saying that pretty clearly. None of the younger generations of Latinas coming into their chapter in life where they're looking for somebody to be married to or to start a family with, or even maybe just to live with, I don't think the considerations of, what is my family going to think if I don't marry this person? I don't really think that comes into play as much as it used to.
Yeah, and like I said, don't get me wrong. It's always nice to find the person to get married, to have something that it's keeping you with the other person, even if it's a piece of paper like everyone says. It is nice. And don't get me wrong, I got married, so obviously it mattered to me, right?
The institution of marriage still has value.
Yeah, definitely. But if that was the case where maybe, we met and then you didn't want to get married, or I didn't want to get married, it wouldn't really matter. So, and even if my mom and dad were to say something at the end, it's my life, so they always respect that part of me, I guess.
final note, something you said that I really think also resonates as part of this question is living out loud. With technology and social media and Facebook and whatever, your life now more than ever is so publicized. It's very difficult for you to not even pretend to be living with somebody, not living with somebody. With everything that you expose about your life, it just becomes almost too burdensome to try to pretend that you're not living with somebody just because you're scared of what maybe people in your family, people in your community might think. I just don't think that exists anymore. Well, it's just too difficult, right?
I do have a lot of family members, and I do have a lot of opinions and a lot of
each one of them.
I do have a lot of opinionated family members, but at the end, with all my respect, with all due respect to everyone, it's it's my life. So I think you and I represent what's happening now and what we're facing. You're living out loud and knowing that this is not perfect, guys. This is not perfect, but it's what.
But it's not perfect out there either.
Well,
that's fine on that.
It is.
One of the big grander mission statements, messages, a message of the show is that we do now need to accept technology as a big window into our lives and to not so much be concerned about the lack of privacy, so much as it be happy with the opportunity now to kind of show the person that you are, show the light to the world that you can give, and hopefully make a difference, right? Yeah. Guys, don't just subscribe to the channel, even though we will be doing this back and forth on a daily basis, but please use the comment box below. Lend your voices to the noise in this show. It'll make it a whole lot more fun. Guys, don't forget, no matter what happens to you today, no matter what challenges or obstacles you may face, you just need to remember one thing.
Give him hell.
Have a good day, guys.